Are you tired of making dull, boring pie charts that look like this? Do you want to spice it up, add a splash of color, and make them simply stunning like this? If you answered yes to this question, then this is the video for you. Hey everyone, welcome back. It's me, the part-time economist, and in today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to customize the pie charts that you make in ggplot2. Now, for the purposes of this video, I'm going to assume that you already have a basic pie chart. If you have no idea how to create a pie chart, if you are completely lost, do not worry. I have a previous video that explains the basics of pie charts. So feel free to watch that video, come back to this one, and then you'll be good to go. I will also mention that I will attach a blog post with sample code that you can copy, you can paste, you can adjust it, you can change it, right? You do not need to copy everything down from the screen. The sample code is there for you, and you can change what you need to change. Okay, perfect. So with that being said, let's just refresh really quick. We are working with a data set that has 3 different categories of cars. So 4-cylinder, 6-cylinder, and 8-cylinder. And we essentially created a pie chart that depicts the relative share that each of these occupies in the data set. So with that being said, this is where we left off in the previous video. Now, the way that we're going to customize our pie chart is by doing the plus sign. And then we're going to type THEME. And we're going to open the parentheses. Now, almost everything we do to customize the chart in today's video, it's almost all going to be done inside of the theme command. So the first thing we might want to do is go with plot.background, and we might want to go with, we're essentially going to change this to a fill, that is BLACK. Now, obviously, you can change it to whatever color you want, right? So that changes the background color. Now, you'll notice 2 massive problems, right? The first problem, it didn't change everything, right? We essentially have these white bars on the sides, the margins. I realize that's a problem. I have tried so many things to get rid of those. I cannot figure out how to get rid of those in the plot preview panel. Now, I will show you a way to get rid of them when you actually save the graphic, when you export it. So don't worry, you'll still be able to create a really nice graphic. I just can't figure out why it's doing this in the plotting window. It's not a big deal, but I am aware of it. Also, the bigger problem we need to think about is that we can't see our title. We can't see our legend, right? So we need to change all of those things. And that's what we're going to do next. So we're going to go with plot.title. We're going to go with element underscore text. We're going to go with color equals, and again, you can go with a color of your choice. I'm going to go with white. And then we probably also want to move that to the center using HJust and 0.5. Now, HJust is your horizontal justification. 0 is all the way to the left. 0.5 is in the middle. And then 1 is going to be all the way to the right. So that is looking good. Let's go ahead and fix our legend, LEGGEND dot text. We're going to go with element underscore text. We're going to go with color equals white. Okay, now, if you're looking at this, you'll notice that we used 2 different commands. So to change the background color, we used element rect and we used fill. But to change the title, the legend, we used element text and we used color. The way that I like to think about this is that whenever we are filling a large area, right? Obviously the background, that is kind of a rectangular shape, right? So I'm filling a rectangle with color. When I'm working with textual information, there's no rectangle there, right? It's just text. So that's where the difference comes into play. And it is important. If you do the wrong thing, it's not going to work for you. So again, make sure you keep that straight. If you're using the sample code, it's not going to be an issue. Okay, so we also need to LEGEND dot, we need to go with the title. And again, that is going to be the element text. We're going to go with color, COLOR, and we're going to go with white. Okay, so that should get us taken care of there. Again, what you'll notice, this title in the legend, it is off to the left. I don't want that. I want to go with HJust, and I'm going to go with 0.5. That is going to center the legend. Okay, so that's looking pretty good so far. Now, one problem that I'm still seeing here is that the legend is just kind of free floating, right? Like it's out in outer space. There's no clear boundary. There's no delineation of this is my plot, this is my legend, right? Again, that's an issue. So let's go ahead and fix that. We're going to go with legend dot background, and we're going to go with element underscore rect. We're going to go with fill equals BLACK. Actually, I want to show you the wrong way to do this. I want to show you the wrong way first. So I'm going to go with color, and I'm going to go with white. Now, what you're going to notice, that does not do what we want, right? It changes all of it to white. We just want the white border. So we need to do color equals white, and then we need to do fill equals BLACK. Perfect. Now that is what we are looking for. So this is looking really a lot better, at least to me. But there's still a couple more changes we can make. So let's suppose that we want to, actually I'm going to do this first. So let's suppose I want to manually change each of these different color slices, right? So now I'm using the default color scheme, but for whatever reason, let's suppose I want 4-cylinder to be one color, 8-cylinder to be another, right? I just do. So what we're going to do, we're going to go with scale, SCALE underscore color, OR. We're going to go with manual. Actually, it's going to be scale fill manual. And now what we need to do is we need to pass in a list of values. Now, it is very important when you're doing this that you create a vector of values, and each of these is going to have two different elements. So it is going to have the category name in your data set. So here in my data set, 4-cylinder, it needs to be spelled the exact same. So I'm going to have 4-cylinder, I'm going to have 6-cylinder, and I'm going to have 8-cylinder, and they need to be inside of these quotation marks. And then I'm going to assign the colors. So let's go with BLACK. Let's go with green. And let's go with purple for this final one, right? Again, these are not colors that we would be using in a professional publication, but just for illustrative purposes, I think it works pretty well. So we're going to go ahead and run that. Now, obviously, again, we have run into, 9-cylinder. There is no 9-cylinder in the data set, but that's a good example of what happens if you don't type things right. So okay, what am I doing wrong here? So I've got the 4-cylinder, the 6-cylinder, the 8-cylinder. I'm not doing anything wrong. The problem is that it's doing exactly what I expect. So what I need to do is I need to make a couple changes. So these labels, first off, we need to change these labels because the black obviously isn't showing up at all, but even these, they don't give that much of a contrast. So what we need to do is inside of this geom underscore text, remember, this is review from the previous lesson. We're going to go with color, and we're going to go with white. That is going to update that. Now, to complete the circle, right? Because right now I have a black circle outline. I have a black background. I have a black pie slice, right? That's a tongue twister. I need some kind of an outline here. And the way that I'm going to do that, again, that's one of the few things that isn't going inside the theme command. That is actually going to go back up here to the geom underscore bar. Because remember, there is no geom underscore circle. There's no geom underscore pie. There's nothing like that to create a pie chart in ggplot. So we're actually creating a bar chart. So, and we're transforming it with chord underscore polar. Okay, so we're going to go with color, and let's go with, let's go with orange. Okay, perfect. So we're good to go there. Now what I want to do, again, it doesn't really matter a whole lot. We kind of have this like peace sign look going on now. Let's just suppose for whatever reason I wanted to rotate my chart, right? I wanted to kind of have an arrow that's going to the right. I could do that. I'm going to go back up here to chord polar. I'm going to go with START, and I'm going to go, I can enter, so let's suppose I do 90, right? I can enter a numeric value, or let me show you something else that's really cool. I can actually go with pi divided by 2, and it's going to rotate it based on pi, which again, I think is super cool. So that is almost everything that we want to do. Now, the final thing that we want to do, as I mentioned, we want to get rid of these white lines. And the way that we do that is we actually save the image. When we export our image, it's going to remove those. So the way that we do that is ggsave. we enter the title of the chart, right? So this is whatever I want to call it. You need to check how your computer is set up. I'm using Linux, right? So Linux Mint specifically. So it is going to save it to my home folder. So just make sure you know where you're saving it. Then we are going to enter the background color. Now, I am using black. If you were doing hot pink and you want your background to be hot pink in this white area, you would do hot pink. And then the last thing we need to enter the variable of the plot. So right now we're just creating this plot in real time. We actually need to assign it to a variable, pass it in here, and then when we save that, it is actually going to export the plot for us. So what you can see is that it is going to export that plot for us. It's going to give us that black background like we were looking for. Everything is good to go. So those are just a few of the different customization options that you can do to the pie charts that you're creating in ggplot2. As always, I do hope you found the video helpful. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.